and welcome to the monthly economic outlook of our latest report that we see. My name is Noor and I'm joined here by my colleague Victor for our latest Hinsdale Central monthly economic outlook. Today we will look at the unemployment rate, GDP growth, and weakening labor market. So, Victor, we have seen plenty of changes to our economic policy in recent weeks. Tell us something about the labor market.
Hey, so I think that the biggest story since our last updates months ago has just been the continued weakening in the US labor market. So, report. We've seen this in some of the key employment data from BLS, like non-farm payrolls with solid positive momentum in the labor market. Recession risks have ticked higher. We assign a 35% probability of a recession in the next 12 months, and the next 6 months or so strike us the most precarious stretch as higher tariffs and restrictive monetary policy continue to bite. But as we look ahead, we feel more optimistic about the outlook for economic growth. As next year progresses, fiscal stimulus is coming next spring when households feel their taxes and take advantage of the tax cuts and enacted in the One Big Beautiful Bill. The alleged effect of monetary policy easing should start to be felt next year, and as long as there are no more major increase in tariffs rates, we grant that it is a big key event that to growth from higher tariffs should gradually fade. We look for an above consensus 2.4% Q4 growth rate for real GDP next year. This month's update also includes our initial forecast rollout for 2027. This is far out we have gone with a forecast that is monthly and economic in steady state 2.1% real GDP growth, near 2% inflation, and a Fed funds rate near neutral at 3%. Against this backdrop, we look for 10-year Treasury yield to be 4.25% at year end. Of course, when 2027 gets closer, new development likely will shake up this tranquil outlook. But for now, we lay out the steady state equilibrium to give our readers our sense of what normal looks like in this brave new world. Now, Noor, tell me about GDP.
Okay, so GDP is a very important part when we are analyzing a country's economic activities and economic health. And it also helps to figure out whether a country is heading towards a recession. GDP, which is adjusted for inflation, is also known as real GDP. Also, real GDP has been growing throughout the year. In 2028, it should be over $24 trillion. Longer term interest rates have increased recent as bond investors demand higher yields to lend to the US government. Okay, personal analysis. We expect the 10-year Treasury yield to hover near 4.5% of the remainder of the year, despite a softening in economic data and a 50 basis point cut from Fed in the fourth quarter of 2025. The 10-year Treasury yield begins to decline slowly in 2026, falling to 4.1% by 2027 and remaining through the end of 2029. The inflationary impulse proved to be temporary, allowing the Fed to cut rates slowly through 2026, bringing the federal fund rate to a range of about 3% and 3.25% by the first quarter of 2027. As a result, real GDP growth is expected to be 1.4% in 2025 and 1.5% in 2026. Real GDP accelerates in 2027 and 2028 before settling into a steady state growth rate of 1.8 in 2029. Oh yeah.
So now to sum it up, the United States economy is showing patterns which indicates that the economy is slowing down, and the United States labor market looks not so good either, but the policy changes. that have been occurring, like tax cuts. And the federal rate cuts should help us to have a steady growth, which could take some time.
Okay, thank you everyone for watching our news report. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.